We are here. We are live at Supreme Courts, and I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a very special event. To our knowledge, it's the first ever Volleyball Media Days for Marshall County. And we're very proud to announce we have the Douglas Eagles with us first, and I'm going to let these young ladies introduce themselves, starting with Coach.
My name is Audrey Dorsett, and this is my third year as varsity head coach. Next.
I'm Sydney. I'm a senior, and I'm a libero.
I'm Genesis. I'm also a senior, and I'm an outside hitter.
I'm Juliana. I'm a senior, and I'm a DS.
I'm Chloe. I'm a setter, and I'm also a senior.
And Bart, what do you play?
Man, I just learned what libero was, so I'm just kind of sitting in on this. And so I'm not the volleyball guy, but I'm learning.
Quick question before we go any further. Why does the libero have the same color jersey as everybody else right here?
That's a good question.
We got to know that before we move forward.
Details, folks. It's all about the details.
That's right. I'm just kidding. All right, Coach, just opening thoughts on this team, and obviously you guys have had play dates in the summer to work out. Opening thoughts on this particular team right here.
I'm very excited about this team. They've played together for several years now, but it feels like this summer they've actually really come together and started communicating better, and they work hard day in and day out. But they love being in the gym even when we're not having practice. So it's real fun. They're a great group to be around, and I'm really excited for this season.
And for each one of you ladies, I love asking this question. This means something. It may or may not mean something to you, but for Coach to pick you guys to come here and represent your team, your community, your school, what does that mean to you individually? Start right here, and each one of you guys get to answer that.
I'm proud of it.
I like where your head's at. Pretty simple. Coach could have picked anybody, but you guys are here, so go ahead.
I guess this gives us like a position as leaders, so like thinking of it that way.
Absolutely.
Like you just did right there, getting the interview going. That's what leadership is, helping your teammate, picking your teammate up.
100%.
Feels like an honor, I guess.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
It means a lot. I love Coach B, and I'm happy she chose us.
Well, but this is one of the things, ladies, that like it's bigger than volleyball. You know, I mean, let's just get right to it. A lot of times, like our generations talk about that your generation can't communicate, can't talk, and that's part of this. Like getting out, you know, when you have to step out in front of media or in front of getting a job or whatever it may be one day, and that's just it's those experiences. So y'all did great with that. You know, you broke the ice in the first one. You were ready to go. Coach, I have a question. Just whatever sport it is, the summertime, like Bo was mentioning, and how important it is, you know, what you're developing. You got seniors here with leaders, and there's expectations, I'm sure, for this season. But does the mentality change Monday? Like, is it now the season, or has that been a progression from the summer throughout? Does anything change on Monday about what y'all have been doing and what you'll work on, or does it just continue to move on?
I feel like our mentality is probably the same, but in the summer, we focus more on having fun because records don't matter. And before every game, I tell them just to go out there and just play hard, play together, and have fun. And we still want to have fun during the season, but it's more of a we really want to and have to win these games. But you don't have to tell them that you want to win because they want to win just as bad or even more than I do. And they like to represent our school well, and so that really puts a higher, I don't know how to say it.
Standard.
Standard
Expectation,
for
standard, absolutely.
during practice and all that kind of stuff. Because I don't have to tell them to work hard and hustle and do this and do that. They're out there before I'm ready to get out there, and they're already playing and peppering, and it's a great atmosphere.
Coach, you going to school there, so you know what it's like to go to school there. So when these girls tell you, I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that, you already know. You've already been to this actual school and played there. Talk about that and how important it is for you to carry that over into your coaching, that you're from there, that means something to you on a different level than just what your day-to-day coach would be that was hired in from the outside.
Right. So I know just about everybody that's not the kids, but teachers and staff and everybody. I know everyone that's there. I know almost everyone in the community, and I feel like with everyone knowing me as well, because I did play 3 sports when I was there, that they have an expectation of me to be great and do great things for them, and I just want to help push that onto them to be great, not just on the court, but off the court as well. And I think that with me going there, it helps myself to hold a standard to where I can hold them to it.
Coach, this is going to be a funny question, but I got to ask it. Which one of these young ladies raises your blood pressure the most?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh,
Is this an easy one?
I mean, it's,
Is it a toss?
Is it a collective answer?
I don't know.
They got
Obviously,
it. Okay.
She's not present.
Yeah. Is she not present? Is
Oh,
there? is-
probably.
That's an easy out. That's an easy out, coach.
This is a double-edged sword right here.
Yes.
They may be one in here that raises their blood pressure, but they also might be the reward, the risk reward. She may be in here on maybe the same girl, a girl who really raises the blood pressure, but also gets it done. So let's hear who it is, Coach.
Well, I feel like all of them are that way.
Coach, I feel sorry for you.
Well,
You're going to be on medication at the end of this year.
well, it's just because I know their potential, and so when they're not going full out, I can tell, and I have to kind of get on them sometimes, or they get in their head, and I have to bring them back down. It's a little bit of a hassle, but they're really, I mean, it's really not much to have to deal with.
I've got one more question before I hand it back off to Bart. You're young enough that they're not pulling anything over you. You know what they're talking about. You know the lingo, the apps and all this. With the standard you got here, they're not going to pull nothing over you. You already know what they're talking about. Does that help you in modern day coaching, or should you be that old crusty, old school 1970s coach? Which one do you think would work better?
I feel like it helps me because
I agree.
we connect better, and
100%.
it's kind of like they know that I'm their coach and that I'm not going to let them step on me, but I'm also, in a way, I'm their friend, and they can come to me with anything and ask me anything, and I'm always there to help them and try to give them guidance and all that. So I feel like it's definitely a plus for me to be able to understand all of that.
I agree 100%. Bart, you bet.
Mine, ladies, I'm going to ask you players this question. It's kind of two parts, but it goes to this team, and like y'all have been playing together for a long time. And one thing I've learned about this sport that I was astonished at, and I mentioned it so many times. In your own words, if you'll go down the line, Chloe, starting with you first. How important is communication with your teammates on and off the court, and also trust?
It's the most important thing there can be, because you can't just let a ball hit the ground. You have to be able to talk and trust each other to, be in the game, and it's the most important thing in volleyball.
Is there an ownership that comes with that, in your opinion? As a teammate, like if someone hits you a good set or a good ball, that you've got to finish that, you've got to knock it down, like that
Yes.
communication, that trust that when you send it to
Yeah.
your teammates, you know they're going to
Yeah.
knock it down. How important is that?
Pretty important because, how to say it? No.
Well, it's everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've learned is every single possession has every inkling of one pass to the next pass.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just a little bit off, or if the person who's jumping, I know it's called something, but jumping to fake, slamming it down,
Mm-hmm.
that's important, right? That's communication and trust as well. So that's kind of what I'm going to. What about you?
I agree with Chloe. It's really crucial in the game because also off court, because it'd be weird if you're just playing with random people, and it's much better when you know each other. And talking is major because it could be the last point, it could be the first, but it matters every single point.
Every single one of them. We had that. We talked to 3-time All-American in here, the Penn State volleyball player that was here, and Johnny said that. She said, you never know when one play is going to matter. And in her career, it just happened. That play was the Max Preps National Player of the Year because she had that mentality every time. Sydney, what about you?
Well, if you break your teammates' trust on the court, it's very, very hard to get it back because you don't know if they're trustworthy enough to score us the point or not. So communication and trust is very important.
Coach, what's the expectation in your own words, in your mind, for these ladies and your team their senior season, but this volleyball season?
I have very high expectations, and I feel every year that we're going to win every game we play, and so this year, something about it, I guess us playing this summer, it just kind of put a little more emphasis on it of how well they played together, and I feel like this is going to be a really fun and entertaining season, because even if we're ahead or even if we're a little behind, they still are in good spirits, so they don't always just get down on themselves, so I don't have to worry about that. So it kind of helps me to hold myself together to keep the expectations high for them, because if they don't see that I'm in it with them, it could bring them down just as much. And I feel like this season's going to be, I feel like something we want to talk about.
Ladies, would you like to add anything to that? Or just smile and go play? Smile and go play and win. Bo?
I'm sure we just started.
All right, Coach, you being young like you are, it's actually amazing that you are in the position that you are to lead other young ladies like you have. What has this position meant for you to be at your alma mater, coaching these young ladies and actually producing better human beings in the community outside of volleyball?
It means a lot to me. I feel like when anything and everything that I do doesn't just represent me and my home and my family, it represents the school, it represents them, and what I do is going to push off, and they're going to see it all, and they're like, oh, well, Coach, she's doing it, so I guess we can do it, or she said it, so I guess we could say it, and I just want to be the best example for them that I could be, and just let them know that even after the season, especially with my 7 seniors, that they can always come back and they can help us, they can just come watch and support, and that I'm always here for them for the rest of their life, no matter what they do.
Love that. That kind of stuff gets me fired up. And, Coach, I appreciate you guys coming on and you ladies that raises her blood pressure daily. I appreciate you guys coming on as well. And that's about all I got.
Is there anybody, media-wise, you guys got any questions that you'd like to ask Coach or the ladies?
I want to talk a little bit about the area this year. You guys kept the same area with the reclassification. How do you see, I would think you guys and probably Boaz and Sardis will be the top 3. I know Crossville's got a new coach they're kind of rebuilding. Just share maybe your thoughts about the area race, if you don't mind.
Right. I think that you're definitely right about how the seeding is probably going to work. I think our most difficult competition is probably going to be Boaz, and we have all the potential in the world to be number 1 if we will put our minds to it and actually play together. And I'm really excited about it. I think that I like that we have the same area, that it didn't change, because I feel like we have some making up to do from last year and probably the year before.
Now this is
This is my third year.
Third season, that's what I thought. So congrats too. I noticed you said Dorset now. When
Yes, sir.
Was that?
Well, in June.
Well, because I said, had Glickstrom here, and I caught that. I said, all right, Audrey's tied the knot. So
Thank you.
Big summer. Big summer.
Yeah.
Is this the most, you got 7 seniors, are they
7.
the most you've had since you've had the team?
Yes, we didn't have any seniors last year, and then the year before that we had 2.
Mm.
So it's been,
This is a year then.
So in
Yeah.
2 years and a 5A?
Yeah.
I forgot you
2
didn't have any
seniors?
seniors last year. I'm sorry. I remember.
yeah, we didn't have any.
Wow.
What was the record last year?
I don't remember off the top of my head. It's hard for me to keep them separated because I coach 3 sports, so it's hard. I don't remember.
So you're a Swiss Army knife at Douglas High School.
Any multi-sport athletes?
Yes.
I was curious to ask this question. Like, how, Coach, you can speak to it as well, but how difficult is it to manage, all those seasons and all those schedules in y'all's own words, if you will, go down the line? Are y'all all multi-sport?
Yes.
Really? Very impressive. Love that. Go ahead.
I play basketball, volleyball, cheer, and I also do competition cheer. So yeah, it's a lot going on, and it's hard, really hard to keep everything in line. But the coaches are making it easy this year. They're allowing us to be able to split practices and everything, so that's helping out a lot. But it's tough.
I play volleyball, basketball, and I cheer and do competition. It's very hard. Also, when school starts back, keeping up the work and like your grades and all that, and the practices, of course, it's hard. But it also prepares you for the real world in a way.
That's true.
Great
'cause-
answer.
Great answer.
That you have no idea how good of an answer that is.
Hey, the kids are sick, the husband's sick, the
Yeah.
car's broke down.
Yeah.
We still
You
gotta
gotta
go
be
to
able
work
to
and
juggle
feed
all-
It's
everybody.
like, where are you?
Yeah.
Why aren't you here?
Yeah, real talk.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're
I'm
good.
sorry. Go ahead. You
Go ahead.
did great.
She nailed that one.
I guess.
That was a very,
Yeah.
very, very,
You
very
got everybody here
astute
fired
answer.
up because we're all like,
Good job.
yes.
Yeah. So,
I play volleyball. I run indoor and outdoor track. And I think it's kind of going off what she said, it's time management. Because apart from that, I'm also, overall, I'm working to be in the medical field. So I go to the tech school, which takes a class off, which doesn't allow me to be with them during the gym.
Got it.
So it's kind of like me and myself have to work on my own, not with them. So it's kind of like how much it matters to you.
Good That's got to be tough, you know, to be away from your teammates while you're working on your craft, but then for y'all to also be selfless enough to understand. This is awesome stuff. Go ahead.
I also play volleyball, basketball, and I cheer, and this will be my first year doing competition cheer. So it's going to be a challenge with taking, like, advanced classes and stuff, but it's definitely worth it. Like, I wouldn't change it.
Coach, we see you in every gym and we see you everywhere. So, like, you probably, you know, even a little bit more experience. Just how difficult was it, you know, and what did you learn from it that you instill in them about that time management type stuff?
Yeah, it definitely was hard because I also played basketball, softball, and volleyball, and I ran cross country when I was in school. So it was really hard, and that's why it helps me as a coach because I understand where they're coming from. I understand when they're tired or when they have work to do or when they are just not feeling it that day, and it helps me also work with the other coaches to help work around practices and kind of split things up. And I don't like to put too much on them, so I always emphasize to them, work, like your schoolwork is first, and then we'll work on volleyball stuff or work on this or whatever it is, and especially like out of season. So when we're not in season, I want them to put all their effort into whatever sport they're in for that season. But then still, if they want to work on volleyball, I mean, that's great because they like to play on the weekends, so they're always texting me, hey, can we play volleyball? And it's just, I'm like, are you not tired? Like, we didn't play games yesterday. I'm like, no, we didn't play. So it's really helped me to, which, I mean, I'm also really busy during the year, too, because I do coach them, and I help Coach Mitchell with basketball, and I'm also the junior high softball coach. So I keep myself busy along with them, but it helps me because I still make connections with them because being around them in basketball and the ones that play softball. So it's really, it's like it just comes full circle, and it's really great to be around them all the time.
That's it. I got it. It's all right.
So we'll thank you again, ladies, y'all, for
I
joining
appreciate you
us.
guys.
It's
Thank you.
awesome, and of course, Bo. And if you will, you'll hear from some of our great sponsors now. We'll be back soon with our next team.
For any of your insurance needs today, call Paul Harris of Gunnersville, Alabama. He works with State Farm and can provide you insurance from auto, homeowners, renters, or more. Give him a call today at 256-582-3250.
When you deal with peoples, their goal is your success.
Here at People's Bank, it's more about a relationship.
I know my bankers, and I've got their cell numbers. I just call them.
If we had been with a larger bank, you know, we would have just been a number. We're supported 100% by People's Bank.
They're our neighbor, they're our friends. We're part of this community.
I went to People's Bank because I knew they were going to take care of me.
People's Bank treat us like we're the most important client they have.
Local Joe's Barbecue Market and Catering Service in Albertville is a full-service restaurant serving smoked meats, fried chicken fingers, hamburgers, hamburger steaks, amazing sides, desserts, and more. If you'd like to visit them, they're on Main Street in Albertville, or you can call them at 256-400-5600.
right, we are back with our next team here at the Marshall County Media Days. One of the most beautiful campuses and one of the most beautiful parts of the state. DAR is here with us. I'm going to let these young ladies introduce themselves at this time, starting with Coach.
I'm Tanya Broadway.
I'm Ansley Barnes.
I'm Tana Osborne.
I'm Emily Reeves.
I'm Chloe Walker.
All right, Coach, just opening thoughts on, the summer is one of the most important times in volleyball. A lot of people, back our age, Coach, I'm not dating ourselves, but
I'm older than you, don't worry.
I don't think so, Coach. I'm old. But let me throw this at you. In our day, we worked out over the summer, but it's not like now.
Right.
Just take us through this summer and what that's looked like for your program.
Well, you absolutely have to work out in the summertime. I mean, there's no time off. I mean, they try to make June about your winter and spring sports and July about your fall sports, but we practice in June as well. I mean, some of these girls, they do multiple sports at smaller schools especially, and you just have to. We have to practice. We did some play dates this year, and they were very, very beneficial for us. But we have to lift weights, we jump train, we practice. Of course, not every day like you do when school starts, but we practiced a lot this summer.
And for you ladies individually, how do you guys juggle what you want to get done summer-wise, which is take a break from school, take a break from sports, but also get that work in that you have to do? Each one of you guys can answer that.
I just go in and get it done. And then once it's over, then that's when you can have time to relax and
no doubt.
do the fun stuff. Yeah.
Same question.
Just get it over with.
All the way down.
Yeah, basically just get it over with. I just have volleyball during the summer. I just do volleyball, so that's all I have. All I do is volleyball, so basically I just get it done.
I only play volleyball, and that's my main priority, and I just do that first, and then what I have left is what I do after that.
So, Coach, what we're hearing from you, you got a lot of girls that are dedicated to volleyball only. That has to make
Yes.
your job a little bit easier, that these girls are dialed in on one thing and they're not shared with softball and basketball and all these other sports.
Well, I will say yes to that to some degree, although this one sitting beside me might be the busiest girl ever. She does play volleyball, basketball, and softball for DAR.
Gotcha.
And all of these girls, they dual enroll. They try to work a little bit on the side, but they take a lot of dual enrollment classes, all of these girls. So they're kind of funny acting like that all they do is do volleyball in the summer. They're pretty busy.
Coach, I have a question. It seems like there's some youth up here. A lot of times you see these things, it's senior, senior, senior,
Right.
senior. I'm seeing none of these girls are senior. Could you speak to the youth, but leadership of youth? I mean, how many seniors do you have, and are you expecting a lot of leadership from these ladies?
Well, I'm expecting a ton of leadership from these girls because I don't have any seniors. Our varsity is junior heavy. So, I'm going to enjoy them this year, and I'll get them one more year, and then it's definitely going to be rebuilding for sure, even though I feel like DAR's, rebuilding anyway. These girls have made great strides, and I don't have any seniors, so we're looking for big things out of these four and my other juniors as well.
Does the season mentality change now that summer's over? And I asked this question earlier. I'm just curious because different coaches, different sports, whatever, have different mentalities on. You've gone through this summer, like you said, but to add to that, does it change Monday? Is there a new mentality, or is it just a progression of what you've been working on continuing?
Well, it'll be mostly a progression, but we will dial down our jump training just a tad. We'll dial down our weight room just a tad, but we will still be in there because we're just going to start working on more specific skills.
All right, girls, we're going to start down this end.
Okay.
Tell us why y'all like playing for Coach, because you can tell that y'all like her, and she has a strong voice that I guarantee you when she does yell, you stop and you listen.
Coach, you
right?
yell?
But speak to playing for her and why you like it so much.
She's very intense, and she creates a sense of unity and family, and she wants us to play to the best of our ability, and she knows we have a lot of potential.
She's very dedicated, and she always pushes us to do better. And
Seems like not just on the court though.
Yes.
It seems like off the court as well.
she pushes us in our classroom
Yeah.
to make sure that we do better and to keep
And responsibility.
responsibilities.
Great teammate. Go ahead.
She's just a great person on and off the court. She just says what's on her mind, and
Just honest.
yeah,
and
very honest.
tells you what you need to hear. Because if you don't,
then you're not gonna improve. So just helps you grow as a person.
Coach, with these young ladies right here that are sitting beside you, and obviously your other teammates as well, you have to have a bond. Can you talk about that bond? And can you put that into words, what it means to have this type of bond? Because you're not only coaching these young ladies, you're creating better people, better mothers in the future, better employees to employers. So talk about that a little bit and what that bond with these young ladies you have, and share what that means to you and what it looks like.
Right. Well, I really try to stand by the idea that life's about relationships. And it doesn't mean that they're going to love everything I say or do. But we just had this conversation, as a matter of fact, yesterday at our play date, that we're like a family. I don't always like it that I might have to tell my husband to take out the trash, but of course I still love him and I forgive him when he doesn't. And that's the thing, we have to forgive each other, and we have to always be together, on the same page. And we may not always like each other, but we have to always love each other. And girls just don't do very well if they don't like each other. It's a little bit different than boys, as it should be. I mean, you have different personalities. We really focus on FCA comes to our school, and we pray before every game, and we just try to keep God as a focus, and understand that we have to forgive each other, because we're going to make each other mad. They're going to be mad at me, and I'm going to be mad at them. But we have to move forward and forgive each other. So that bond, and especially with girls don't do well if that bond's not there.
True story. Now, when you young ladies, each one of you guys, I'd like for you to answer this. When you hear Coach talking those terms, like putting God first and being better people, and I mean, it's not always the easiest thing to do. I mean, sometimes it's in our society, sometimes it's very hard. What does that mean to you individually, to know that you have someone like her that's leading you guys and mentoring you guys in real life situations?
I just think that type of leadership is going to help me when I'm to that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like
1,000%.
Like if I see it now, then I'll do it the rest of my life.
1,000%, I agree.
I'm just very thankful for that, and glad that I have those kind of people around me. It's going to push us to be better people, and having her and God helps us.
It's going to keep our priorities straight and know that we have to focus on things other than just the skill of volleyball.
Right.
Well, to that point, I mean, and I love just you opening up that door, Coach, because there's so many things that are just going to happen, obstacle-wise, whether it be grades, whether it be a personal situation, whether it be a family situation, that, and they haven't been through those things.
No.
And to have someone that they can go to, face-to-face, and then also in the supernatural, I mean, the message of that. But what I'm hearing from them that you're developing, and if you'll elaborate on this, and we talk about in volleyball all the time, is trust.
Right.
It's trust. It's trust in your higher power, and it's trust in this person who's been chosen as a leader. Speak to that trust on the court. Okay. How we're talking off the court now in leadership, but on the court, how important is that if in all these adverse situations they know that they can trust each other because they've worked on it and because you've instilled it in them?
Right. Well, I've played all team sports, but volleyball, in my opinion, is the greatest team sport, because our side of the court is 30 foot by 30 foot, and there's 6 people trying to cooperate on a 30 by 30 foot square. Mm-hmm. So communication has to be there, trust has to be there. You've got to, yes, you got to know that was your ball, that was my ball, that sort of thing. But if you don't trust your teammate to go get that certain ball, then it's just a disaster. People are running all over each other. And so trust is actually the very word that we use in our practice a lot. You have to trust that your teammate's going to get that ball. But yet, then to that teammate, you got to go get it. Yes. You got to be consistent. Yes. So, I just try to tell them, too, we're not looking, coaches and employers aren't looking for greatness. They're looking for consistency. Mm-hmm. And so with that consistency builds the trust.
Excellent. Bo, you got anything you want to open it up?
Coach, let's dive into this team this season. What are you looking at? What are some of the things you hang your hat on? You're like, hey, I know that we're good at this. And what are some of the things you got to work on heading into this all-important, fall camp that's about to be coming up?
Well, that's a really good question, and I think these girls will probably say the same thing if you'd ask them this first. But our strengths are going to be defense. Our strengths are going to be ball control, serve, receive. We've already proven that this summer, and it's going to have to just get better and better. We're not a really super tall team, so we have to work really hard on our hitting. We have to ball control a lot, hit smart shots. We're not going to overpower anybody. Blocking is probably a weakness for us, just because we're not tall. And so we have to work on our timing, we have to work on our jumping. So those are the things we're focusing on.
Coach, we can get you some stilts if you need.
I know, right? I need
I
some.
don't think you'd be that agile. Hey, you young ladies, same thing Coach said. What are some of the things you guys feel really comfortable with, and then some of the things that you know that you got to work on?
I think our ball control is going to get us really far.
Yeah.
Just from passing to target and moving the ball, that'll help us play smarter and more accurately.
Our serve receive is awesome. Me and Emily are in most of the serve receives, so that has been awesome. Yeah.
Our serving, always keeping the ball in play.
Yeah.
I think our serving and keeping the ball off the floor has really improved, and we move and hustle a lot.
I think your unity that word you
Yes.
brought up earlier as well, just hearing you guys talk, is one of the things that I'm noticing with this group sitting here as well.
Which one of these young ladies drives you insane, Coach? They got to be one. One sticks out above the other.
You know, I told him, I said, they're going to ask a funny question.
Always, I got
Well,
it.
it's going to have to be Tana here. I told her, if anybody's watching, that Gunnersville whole backstage theater ought to be recruiting this girl right here, because she is a little dramatic at times. And so, like I said, I hope they're watching. They need to call her out, Tana Osborne.
It's awesome. So we're gonna kick it out for questions right now. If you guys got any.
Hey, what was the record last year? Do you recall?
Well, I don't remember the losses, but I know we only won 9 matches. But that was an improvement, I think, over the year before. Didn't really pay much attention to that. I just paid attention to our improvement. It's a huge improvement, a huge turnaround. We played a lot tougher competition. And this year, one thing I told the girls this year, if you don't like playing a lot more and practicing a lot more, this is not the place for you, because the schedule is much amped up for sure.
Who are the area teams?
Let's see, we're in the area. We have Randolph. We're in a 5-team area this year. We added Randolph, but the rest are the same. It'll be us, Randolph, New Hope, North Jackson, and Madison County. That's right.
And who is the rivalry team for DAR? Who do you really want to beat this year?
Well, this is only my second season there after being at Grissom for 26 years. But I think they would probably tell you New Hope, I guess. I'm not really completely sure, but I guess, it is for them, not necessarily for me, but New Hope, I guess.
Anybody else that you got you circled, hey, we're going to play them, we're going to give them our best shot?
Maybe the girls should answer that.
Yeah, girls answer.
I like North Jackson. It's always fun,
Gauntlet lay down.
Do they have a spear on their uniform in volleyball?
I have no idea.
Not like their football.
I don't know.
Anything
Any
else?
other questions from the back?
I think that's all I have.
Mark?
I just one last question, Coach. I'm curious. I always like this because some of us, have been exposed, and I grew up playing small school ball. I didn't get to play volleyball. I wasn't allowed to play basketball and a lot of other sports. But is there a difference? Is there a difference at the 7A, 6A level? And then as you've gotten here to DAR, is there a difference in the mentality, in the strategies, any of that type of stuff, in big versus small school?
Not so much. I wouldn't say anything different about the strategies. Really, the only one difference is blocking, probably a little bit, just because I had a little more size. But I would put these two setters, Chloe and Ansley, up against any 7A setter, and these two. Emily, she gets a lot out of that 5'5" frame hitting, and she and Tana are awesome in serve receive. So I would put all of those skills up against anybody. Just probably the blocking is probably just the only skill that's just a little bit above right now, just mostly because of size, though.
Which makes total sense.
That's right.
Coach, that kind of nullifies by the dramatic actions of her. That kind of weighs that out, so it's all even.
That's right. That's right. I can put up with that a
That's
little bit,
right.
can I? That's
You
right.
didn't have that at the 7A level, 6A
Yeah.
level. All right, guys, we're going to shut this one down. DAR, fantastic. I appreciate you guys coming on. Good luck to you guys this season.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Legends on the Lake is a family restaurant with wings, steaks, wraps, and burgers. They offer live entertainment, a laid-back environment, and a beautiful view. Come check them out today or visit them on Facebook at Legends on the Lake. Enhanced Therapy Services is a locally and family-owned physical, occupational, and speech therapy clinic. Located in the heart of Guntersville, they treat patients of all ages and also offer a variety of specialty services, such as dry needling, Parkinson's disease treatment, lymphedema therapy, swallow therapy, pelvic floor treatment, and more. Give them a call at 256-486-9478 for questions and more information. For over 100 years, First South Farm Credit has been providing financial options as a part of the National Farm Credit System. First South is a financial cooperative, which means we are owned by customers just like you. When you're borrowing from First South, you become a stockholder and a member. Our mission is to support agricultural and rural communities by providing a steady flow of credit to eligible borrowers in Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Marshall Medical Centers serves the residents of Marshall County and surrounding areas. It has 2 hospitals, 9 outpatient locations, and a highly trained team of physicians practicing in 26 specialties. Marshall Medical is a confident and convenient choice for local health care. Residents can remain close to home and receive excellent care, often provided by those who are neighbors and friends. Average Joe Sports Talk. Follow them on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They cover everything from pictures, videos, coaching interviews, and more. They work hard to cover your hard work.
Back live here at our 2022 Marshall County Media Days at Supreme Courts, hosted by Jonathan Hyde and the team as always. And we're here with the Arab Lady Knights. And first off, coach and players, if you would, introduce yourselves for us.
I'm Coach Amy Hudson.
I'm Anna McFerrin. I'm Carly Walker.
I'm Heather Skelton.
All right, so let's get right to it. What are those what's those shirts say, and whose idea was it to wear them? Because I love it.
Marshall County champs.
Defending county champs.
I think it was my idea.
I think it was hers.
Really? So everyone's in agreement.
Yeah.
It was your idea. What does it mean, Coach? And then, ladies, if you will elaborate as well. Just walking right in here. This is the Marshall County Volleyball Media Days, and you are the ones that walk in being able to wear that shirt. Why is that so important, and how proud does it make you of your team? And girls, what does it mean to you?
Marshall County is full of really strong volleyball teams, and so to be able to call ourselves defending state champs is a big deal to us. And so we're going to use it as long as we can because we don't have much longer. So wanted to wear our shirts loud and proud, and we're proud.
Yeah, we are very proud, but nothing. It just makes us work even harder.
Yes.
Yeah, it means a lot of hard work that we put in, and then just overcoming a lot of adversity through the season. So, and a lot of pride goes into it.
And it makes the next generation or like the next year people to be able to lead up to it. They have to keep it.
Senior leadership coach. Obviously, you got 3 seniors. Sitting up here, played in the program, and there is a tenacity, there is a maturity that you can tell walking in. Like Bo said, y'all want this smoke. Why is that? Is that what you've instilled in them talent-wise? Is that a mental aspect that you've instilled? Because these girls are walking around with some swag. Why is that?
I think it's just been a lot of hard work, a lot of years in the making. And I can honestly say I am so very proud of that. I coached every single one of these in junior high. And so it's been a long road, and it's something that we've worked hard for, and we have big aspirations. And, there's smoke. We want the smoke, and we want to go a lot further than county champs. So we got to be able to handle county first. So,
Coach, when I see you guys, and I know you're going to start laughing, because you and I are probably similar, same age, I see Ric Flair. I see Ric Flair. I do, Coach. And that's a good thing.
That's my father-in-law.
Here's why. Because he didn't shy away from it. He was a champion, but he didn't shy away from it. He had an aura and a swag about him. And I love that. Here's why I love that. Because we live in a society now where a lot of coaches shy away from that. If they're good, they want to play the underdog role. Nope. You guys are like, nope. We won the county last year. We want all this. To me, that means something. Which means you're not going to shy away from competition, not going to back them down. What does that mean to you to know that, hey, when they walk in a place and it's a volleyball-oriented place, that they have that swag, they have that confidence, they're not shying away from it?
Well, we work a lot on mental toughness. And part of being mentally tough is being able to handle big moments and handle being able to play with a target on your back. And when you are defending champs, when you are good, then you get everybody's best. And so, a lot of it is about learning how to play with that target on your back. And if we want to do big things, then we've got to be able to do that.
Now, you ladies, same kind of question for you, but I'm going to word it a little bit different. We are sitting in a county right now in a building that houses 300 or so teams. The largest volleyball camp in the nation is in this building right here. And you guys are the county champs of this county. What does that mean to you to know that y'all can walk around with that badge of honor? Each one of you answer that.
Well, we want to play the best, and we think that makes us better. We want people to want to beat us, and it just makes us better at the end of the day.
Yeah. We have the reputation since we are the champs. People can think that we're the best, but there's always someone better than you. So we always have to fight to be better than the best.
Like they said, we all have to fight. Just knowing that we are the champions, it makes us big. Like, we can walk around and be proud of who we've become.
Well, the biggest thing is that we're not satisfied. We have not accomplished what we want to accomplish yet. That was one step, but it's a small step in the big picture.
Coach, here's another thing that is kind of what you just touched on, but on a different scale. You know, they have had some success, and they've had some really good things go their way. But a lot of times, and we live in another, again, I call it a microwave society, where you get a little bit of success, you come off the brakes, and, you know, it's just a different society than we grew up in. How do you battle that with your young ladies? Because they have won this badge of honor, but yeah, that's not the prize you guys are looking for. How do you battle that and keep them hungry in the goal that they want, you know, achieve ultimately?
Just try to keep them focused. And I've done a lot, probably too much, talking this summer about what they could be and, you know, them realizing what their potential is. And I told them the other day that those days are over. We're not talking about those anymore. It's time to put up or shut up. And, you know, I mean, we got to grow. We got to grow mentally. And, you know, volleyball, any sport, is a 90% game of mental toughness, 10% physical.
No doubt.
And that's the thing that we've got to conquer.
And for you young ladies, when she talks about mental toughness, that's everything. Let's say the hardest human beings on earth is Navy SEALs. I think pretty much we can all agree on that. Some people may say this, that, or the other. But it's not about who's the strongest or biggest or fastest. It's who can survive the mental toughness of it. Your coach is instilling that in you. What does that look like to you from a personal standpoint when you hear her talk in those terms about how important that is to you?
Well, I mean, we always obviously want to listen to her and, I mean, trust her, because we do trust her. And we just want to, you know, stay focused, and we're just not satisfied with the small things like that.
Yeah, she teaches us to be calm in the chaos, and you know, if you get messed up and in your head as a team, you're always going to play worse. So mental toughness just makes way for success for everybody.
And mental toughness also comes with, like, you have to trust your teammates, and you have to know what they're doing, you know, like thinking. Otherwise, it's just going downhill from there.
Yeah, you kind of stole my question, Heather. That's kind of my thing in this whole volleyball journey. Trust. It just keeps coming up. Communication, trust, over and over and over and over. So, Anna, you mentioned that y'all trust Coach, and what comes out of her mouth, what she verbalizes to you, that's what you've got to go execute, right? Okay. Each one of you, y'all are the seniors. I'm sure everybody on your team's not a senior. You know, or there may be some people stepping into some new roles this year. How did y'all as leaders become that coach on the floor that those young players can trust the way that you've trusted her? Does it make sense?
I think we've established a culture that is kind of like the norm when you walk into the gym. And
what does that mean? The norm. What is the norm when you walk into the Arab Lady Knights gym?
I mean, we're pretty serious. I mean, we want to have fun, obviously, but I mean, getting better comes first, and we have a long way to go always. So that's just what's most important to everyone, and we kind of make sure everybody knows that when they come in.
And we know that everybody's going to make mistakes. They're unavoidable, but you just have to grow from them instead of sitting there and dwelling on them, because we're not going to look down on you because you made one mistake. We just want you to learn from it and get better for the team.
And trusting your teammates also comes with, like lifting them up. Whenever you walk into the gym, you have to keep them up, or say if someone's having a bad day,
yes,
you will always have to go up to them and be like, hey, you know, you got this. Keep them positive.
This is a question. I hadn't been able to ask this. This one's going to be good, I think. 3 seniors. Is there like a pecking order? All right, you don't want to make Coach mad. All right, now you've made Anna mad. Okay, so Heather's not happy, but you really don't want it to get to Carly. I mean, is there a pecking order with that it goes through? Or just all of them just take care of whatever needs to happen?
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much what happens.
You pretty much just nailed it. But the thing is these 3 are such good leaders.
You can tell.
And they're not the kind of leaders that are demeaning or talk down to their teammates. They are
real leaders.
Real leaders, and they lead by example. That's the biggest thing. And you know, this one right here will flat get on you if she needs to. But I mean, she doesn't have to do that much.
Well, you know why? She said the word. It's a culture. I mean, the culture. How did you develop that culture? How long did it take? Was it 5 Yeah, I mean, how has it, because it's sitting right up here in front of us, and I mean, this is where we want these conversations to go, is like, and I mean, the players are the ones saying this. I mean, when she said the word culture, it just opens up a whole new, how did you develop that culture?
Oh gosh, I don't really know. This is only my second year as the head coach at ARAB, but I really think it started back junior high. I mean, my biggest thing has always been create a culture where they are not afraid to mess up, because they can only grow from that.
Yep.
And if you play scared, you're not going to get very far.
That's right.
And so, and it is a daily battle, and we go in and out of it. I can tell you that, and we have not gotten there yet, but we're working on it, and we're on our way.
Yeah, just get through today, right?
Yeah.
We'll worry about today, and we'll figure it out tomorrow. Guys, y'all have any questions?
What's the area for you guys?
Area is ARAB, I'm gonna say Plainview, Fairview, Gunnersville, and Scottsboro.
Is there a rivalry type game for ARAB? Who do you circle on the calendar? Who do you really want to beat?
I think that's pretty obvious. Gunnersville. They're probably our biggest rival area or no area. So we just came back down to 5A, so we've been out of their world for a couple of years. And
Scottsboro in with you guys last year on
yes.
16, right? So
Yes.
it
was ARAB Scottsboro Fort Payne.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're pretty excited to be in 5A.
We are really excited.
And you talked a little bit ago that county champion is not the ultimate goal, but you didn't really state what the ultimate goal is. I assume it's going to state and doing pretty well.
It's the Blue Map. And I think everybody has those aspirations every year, but we always have those aspirations. This is just a different kind of year where we really, truly believe that it could really happen. We have the tools. We've got to be the mental team that we need to be.
Did you lose anybody off last year's team that, you know, a big person that's going to be hard to fill those shoes this year, or do you have most people back?
Most are back. We lost Ella Ingram, Maury McDonald, and Tatum Monroe. They were three. Mostly their defense. Most of what we're having to replace is defensive. So.
How's that coming? Replacing those players?
It's coming.
WIP.
It's coming. We have Heather stepping in, filling a big role this year, and then we have some young girls. We have some that have, you know, the rest are JV players moving up. Some are juniors, some are sophomores. So
and it's a little faster too.
We're not currently playing with a libero because we don't know who it's going to be.
Mm.
They're fighting, so it depends on the day.
Get that different color jersey out.
Yep. It's got to be earned.
All right.
That's it, guys. I appreciate you guys sitting in with us, and I don't have to tell you guys good luck because you got that swag. You already know you're gonna create your own luck. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
For any of your insurance needs today, call Paul Harris of Gunnersville, Alabama. He works with State Farm and can provide you insurance from auto, homeowners, renters, or more. Give him a call today at 256-582-3250.
When you deal with peoples, their goal is your success.
Here at People's Bank, it's more about a relationship.
I know my bankers, and I've got their cell numbers. I just call them.
If we had been with a larger bank, you know, we would have just been a number. We're supported 100% by People's Bank.
They're our neighbor, they're our friends. We're part of this community.
I went to People's Bank because I knew they were going to take care of me.
People's Bank treat us like we're the most important client they have.
Local Joe's Barbecue Market and Catering Service in Albertville is a full-service restaurant serving smoked meats, fried chicken fingers, hamburgers, hamburger steaks, amazing sides, desserts, and more. If you'd like to visit them, they're on Main Street in Albertville, or you can call them at 256-400-5600. Legends on the Lake is a family restaurant with wings, steaks, wraps, and burgers. They offer live entertainment, a laid-back environment, and a beautiful view. Come check them out today or visit them on Facebook at Legends on the Lake. Enhanced Therapy Services is a locally and family-owned physical, occupational, and speech therapy clinic. Located in the heart of Guntersville, they treat patients of all ages and also offer a variety of specialty services, such as dry needling, Parkinson's disease treatment, lymphedema therapy, swallow therapy, pelvic floor treatment, and more. Give them a call at 256-486-9478 for questions and more information. For over 100 years, First South Farm Credit has been providing financial options as a part of the National Farm Credit System. First South is a financial cooperative, which means we are owned by customers just like you. When you're borrowing from First South, you become a stockholder and a member. Our mission is to support agricultural and rural communities by providing a steady flow of credit to eligible borrowers in Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Marshall Medical Centers serves the residents of Marshall County and surrounding areas. It has 2 hospitals, 9 outpatient locations, and a highly trained team of physicians practicing in 26 specialties. Marshall Medical is a confident and convenient choice for local health care. Residents can remain close to home and receive excellent care, often provided by those who are neighbors and friends. Average Joe Sports Talk. Follow them on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They cover everything from pictures, videos, coaching interviews, and more. They work hard to cover your hard work.
We are back here at the Marshall County Media Days for volleyball here at Supreme Courts, and we are very proud to announce these young ladies, the Boaz Pirates. We're going to let these young ladies introduce themselves at this time, starting with Coach.
I'm Shauna Cahill.
I'm Alexis Ashley.
I'm Jazzy Roberts. I'm Amelia Langley.
Coach, we like to start these with like a rolling start. Just give us some initial thoughts on this team, where we're at right here in the summer. You've obviously been through play dates, you've been through the workouts, you're about to head over into fall camp. Just give us some overall thoughts on the team, just initial thoughts.
First thought is that we have been working. We actually started the last week in July, and that last week in June, we played 12 matches that week. So we didn't hesitate to, start to where focusing on what we needed to work on. So we've had a ton of play dates. We were at Montana We've had a few practices where we can get in the gym and work and focus on like our individual things. We have workouts, 7th period, school's about to start back. We're gonna be running practices after school. And I told the girls, I was like, you know, we have worked so hard this summer. I feel like we haven't let up much. And I know that they feel the same, but that's what we need to do in order to get to where we want to be.
Coach, do you feel like it's almost getting to that point where it's almost year-round?
Absolutely. I know that I definitely feel that way. It is a little bit hard because I do have athletes that don't just play volleyball, but I also have volleyball players that when they aren't playing school ball, they're playing club ball. And there's opportunities now in Albertville and Boaz where they can, they can get jump training, they can get specific skills trainings. So there's a ton of opportunities around us, and I know that my girls, that's something that even if it's not with me, that they're finding a way to stay in the game.
And you young ladies, maybe some of you guys are multi-sport athletes. How many of you guys are multi-sport athletes?
We all are.
You all are? Okay, talk about these summers. Walk us through these summers. How do you manage your time? Because time is precious to all of us, obviously, but multi-sport athletes in high school nowadays is a whole different world than what it was when we were in school like Bart and I. Go ahead, each one of you guys.
May and June is basketball. Every single day basketball. And then when basketball's over, we had 3 days, and it was volleyball. And that's what we do until October. And then
Workouts in between, correct?
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was just like working and working and working. Like we would have like little breaks in between, but then it's like basketball, and then as soon as it's over, it's just volleyball.
Now, funny stories. People don't know you actually tore your ankle up last week fighting in the UFC event. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Like, it happened in my second game. And
this is fake news. She was in the UFC, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was. I had a black eye last year.
You know what I'm saying, guys? Remember, she's telling you.
She's pretty tough.
I'm just messing with her.
She's pretty tough.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it starts in June. We go from basketball, and in July is volleyball. But it really starts at tryouts. When you're at tryouts, that's really your commit to the summer. You're going to be there. You're going to put in the work every single day.
In all sports.
All sports.
That's correct.
Coach, I had a question about, we talk about, it's come up every single time. Somehow either we ask the question or one of the girls say it, or it comes up how important trust is or how important communication is in volleyball, right? On and off the court. But I'm curious about, because you talked about individual skills, how many ways do you break down communication and trust to work on it, whether it be in a defensive setting, offensive, just if you could speak to how you try to develop that. And girls, if you could speak to like why communication and trust is so important when she gets done.
Well, I tell my girls all the time, if you're not communicating, then you're making errors. And if you're making errors, then you're not winning. And so in order to win, it starts at the root of communication. And so trusting each other. I told the girls today with some of our injuries, I've had to move the girls around, and even though that kind of puts them out of their comfort zone, we're still playing the same game. Yes. The girls know the game of volleyball, and so even if I move my libero to a hitter and I put somebody else in a passing position, we know the court. We know this game. We know where we should be in any position. And so, the girls know that this is a game of strategy. So it's about how well can we execute, not about how hard can we hit the ball, but where can we have that ball awareness, that game awareness. What are we going to have to do to get that point? And it starts at the root of communication, but that's also because we trust each other.
And girls like to elaborate on it. Like, have any of you had to be in that position to where someone got hurt and you've had to change positioning? And why is that important, not just for you individually, but for y'all collectively as a team, for other people to have to play multiple positions? Amelia.
I think it's important because that also helps us trust each other. Like, Alexis hits today, and Alexis is a setter, but we trusted her, and she got blocks, and that just helps the team when you can trust each other.
It also builds up on our chemistry real well, because like without any chemistry, like the whole like season could also end up in like chaos and everything. So good chemistry, good trust, it just like builds a team together.
Yeah, like Amelia was saying, we had to move some things around today because of injuries, and they put their trust in me. They had my back, being somewhere that I wasn't comfortable playing, and that's a big, important thing that our team has.
It's not just volleyball. I mean, that's going to happen to you in life. I mean, there's going to be so many situations. You know, you may have already been through some. You know, every situation is different. But Coach, what's the expectation walking into Monday? Where are you? Are you exactly where you wanted to be? Are you ahead of schedule? Obviously, the injuries have slowed you down a little bit. Where are you in the course of coming into the season, and where do you feel like your girls are?
So I think where we want to be, you know, that is something that we will never be where we want to be, because we have to have that goal. We have to have something to push forward to as a team, as an individual. And so I think that the root of that does come from me to push them to get to that point, whether it is out of their comfort zone or it is, you know, just slowing the game down to really look at and focus on, okay, well, this is what we could do better. This is what we need to do better. Is it you? Is it us as a team? Because volleyball is a team sport, and in order to really execute on a point, 3 people are touching one ball every single play. And so this season, you know, we've already started strong. We're going to get back in the gym next week, and we're going to every day. I told the girls, whether it is something small or whether it's something big, but there has to be growth. Like where we were yesterday is not where we should be today. And when we walk out of the gym today, we've gotten better at something. And it might be one thing, it might be 2 things, but there's something that we've gotten better at, and we never go back to yesterday. And so it's just a growth mindset from then on.
Well, it's about life. It's about stringing a bunch of small victories together. What's the expectation, real quick, in your own words for this season?
I think playing together, because when we play together, then we're doing good.
Good things happen.
Mm-hmm. Mostly being successful all through the season, being together and everything.
Getting healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what they're saying. Just communication, really, and playing as a team and keeping each other accountable.
Talk about the areas the same as last year. I know I talked to Douglas about this. Cross was rebuilding, so you guys and Douglas and Sardis, and I don't know, I think I'm leaning toward you 2 guys, boys, and Douglas may be 2 favorites. You may see something different. Can you talk about y'all? I mean, there's everybody in there is really a good rival, and you know, when every match is important. I know this about athletics. Every game is important, but some of them mean a little bit more, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. You know. And
right.
So when you play Douglas or Sardis, I mean, and when you get right down to it, at the end of the year, you know, 2 of you will go on and 2 will stay at home. So, I mean, how do you see that shaping up?
So our area did stay the same. We've hosted area for the past 2 years, and my expectation would be to host area again this year. But I think that, you know, one thing that I also talk to my girls about is it doesn't matter who is on the other side of the net, because we should always be our biggest competition. It shouldn't be that we're playing Sardis and we've got to play better, or we should play Douglas and we've got to play better. If we're always playing our best, if we're always pushing ourselves, then it shouldn't matter who is on the other side of the court.
Is there a game or a team, a rival team? Is there somebody you got circled on the calendar and say, boy, we really like to beat those guys?
I mean, we would like to beat everybody, right?
Hashtag beat everybody shirts, right?
But that, you know, we also have to settle for how did we play? Did we play at our best and just get beat? And if that is the case, then that's okay. And the girls know that no game is ever going to be perfect. We have our city schools, Albertville, Gunnersville, Arab, that's in our county with us too, and they're always, you know, pretty big competitions. And so I guess for just Boaz ball, it's about, again, just us being that growth mindset and what can we do better every single play, every single set, and just walking off that court and being happy with our performance.
Well, I was thinking, besides your area, like you said, the county play, if you come out of Marshall County and go to Huntsville, I think the super regional's been in Huntsville. I mean, you're ready. I mean, do you think, China, you're ready, you girls, any of you girls, because competition with your area and in Marshall County is so good, and it has been.
It is.
You know, it's great today. You girls are making it great, and I've been around a long time. It's been great for a while. You know, I mean, do you feel like that, any of you guys? I mean, it makes you better. It makes you prepared. Is that a good way to
Absolutely.
say?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, if we're not playing good people, then that's not making us better. And so, you know, our expectations, and I know something that these girls would like to achieve, is to also host area, win area, make it to regionals in Huntsville. We made it to regionals last year where we matched up with Pleasant Grove. We got beat by Pleasant Grove, and then our second game was against Brewer, and that's where we fell short. But so this year, our goal is to make it past that, and that's better from our previous year. So.
I'm curious, real quick. It's strengths. What are the strengths and weaknesses you mentioned, like last year? You know, not being able to get over that hump. Was there anything in particular in that game that had maybe been an Achilles heel, like throughout the season, that caught it? Or basically, I guess I'm asking, what was that one thing that you really had to focus on in the off season that you're going to be better at this year to get further?
We did have some injuries last year. I had one middle that had her ACL. She ended up moving this year. Actually to Florida or to the beach, and then I had another ACL, which is back this year. She's playing middle for me, and then had another ACL last year. She is out. She is out.
Hey, I never had to get away from
stuff. I know. It's not me. They're just working hard. They're just working hard, but. She's actually going to not be able to play this year because of her ankle. So we've had, and then I can't forget about a shoulder surgery in January. So yeah, there's definitely been a lot of things where we've had to stop and say, okay, we have to get healthy first. And once we get healthy, then we can push ourselves. As far as when we got to regionals last year, I think for these girls just moving forward, we've got to push. We've got to learn to push through those hardest times, to work harder and not the same for the points that we need the most, and not just one person doing it, but everybody doing their part as what it takes on the court.
Before we close this down, this is for the girls. Hearing Coach say that, you know, you guys getting there, it's time, you came to the door last year. It's time to kick the door in. You agree with that? The other word that comes to mind when I'm hearing you guys interview is versatility. Coach is talking about moving guys in positions, people get injured. There's no excuses. Versatility. What's it going to take to kick that door down and go on past regionals? Each one of you guys answer that.
I think we just need to.
Because ultimately it's on you guys' shoulders.
Yeah. I think we just need to work more on communicating, honestly. Because when we're communicating and we're got the energy, we're a good team. Like, we play good together.
No doubt.
I think staying up, because when we get in our heads, that's when everything goes downhill. Like, we get into our own heads. It's like we beat ourselves, not the other team. It's always that way.
Excellent.
I agree with Jazzy. When we pick each other up, then we really don't have anything else to worry about. Like, when we're communicating and we have good attitudes, everything else just falls in place, and we don't really have to worry about anything.
No doubt.
The thing about, just one quick point about it, the thing about like a fast-paced sport, you know, like a softball or a volleyball or a basketball, or it's not a fast-paced sport, but or a golf, you got to have a short memory. You know, that last play cannot affect the next play, and so many times with young teams that's happening. But it's good that word, both versatile for this team and like being able to get through adversity. It's gonna be fun to watch y'all play throughout the season, for sure. But thank y'all for joining us today, Lady Pirates, and we will go to a break real quick and come back with more in just a second from Sprint Courts.
Average Joe Sports Talk. Follow them on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They cover everything from pictures, videos, coaching interviews, and more. They work hard to cover your hard work. Marshall Medical Centers serves the residents of Marshall County and surrounding areas. It has 2 hospitals, 9 outpatient locations, and a highly trained team of physicians practicing in 26 specialties. Marshall Medical is a confident and convenient choice for local health care. Residents can remain close to home and receive excellent care, often provided by those who are neighbors and friends. For over 100 years, First South Farm Credit has been providing financial options as a part of the National Farm Credit System. First South is a financial cooperative, which means we are owned by customers just like you. When you're borrowing from First South, you become a stockholder and a member. Our mission is to support agricultural and rural communities by providing a steady flow of credit to eligible borrowers in Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Enhanced Therapy Services is a locally and family-owned physical, occupational, and speech therapy clinic. Located in the heart of Guntersville, they treat patients of all ages and also offer a variety of specialty services, such as dry needling, Parkinson's disease treatment, lymphedema therapy, swallow therapy, pelvic floor treatment, and more. Give them a call at 256-486-9478 for questions and more information. Legends on the Lake is a family restaurant with wings, steaks, wraps, and burgers. They offer live entertainment, a laid-back environment, and a beautiful view. Come check them out today or visit them on Facebook at Legends on the Lake. Local Joe's Barbecue Market and Catering Service in Albertville is a full-service restaurant serving smoked meats, fried chicken fingers, hamburgers, hamburger steaks, amazing sides, desserts, and more. If you'd like to visit them, they're on Main Street in Albertville, or you can call them at 256-400-5600.
When you deal with peoples, their goal is your success.
Here at People's Bank, it's more about a relationship.
I know my bankers, and I've got their cell numbers. I just call them.
If we had been with a larger bank, we would have just been a number. We're supported 100% by People's Bank.
They're our neighbor, they're our friends. We're part of this community.
I went to People's Bank because I knew they were going to take care of me.
People's Bank treat us like we're the most important client they have.
For any of your insurance needs today, call Paul Harris of Guntersville, Alabama. He works with State Farm and can provide you insurance from auto, homeowners, renters, or more. Give him a call today at 256-582-3250.
Welcome back, folks. Our Media Days 2022 Volleyball Marshall County edition from Supreme Courts. We are now joined by the Marshall Christian Academy Lady Stallions, and Coach, I would like for you to introduce yourself and then player as well, if you will. Too.
Okay, I'm McCall of Willoughby, and I'm the new head coach at MCA.
I'm Catherine Lynn, and I'm a senior at MCA.
Well, Coach, we were discussing a minute ago. You've had the job for about 5 minutes now. So how does it feel? I got hired 2 weeks ago. Obviously coming in a little bit late on things, but you are from Albertville. You're from the area. You're very familiar. I guess a two-part question. Number one, how difficult is it getting the job this late? But number two, how excited are you?
I'm going to answer number two first.
Okay.
I'm very excited. Volleyball's always been a passion of mine, obviously, as a player, and now being able to coach, getting to continue that passion as an adult. It being my first head coaching job and then being thrown in 2 weeks before the season, we've had 1 full week of practice, and next week we'll play in our first tournament. So I didn't get to run my own tryouts. I didn't have time for that. So I was given a team that was picked by the former coach. And two, everything is just completely different with a smaller Christian school, a smaller school in general, because we have 11 girls. We don't have the depth that other, the bigger schools, the city schools, county schools have. We have 11 girls to play volleyball, and 4 of those are freshmen. Mm-hmm. And some of those that players have never touched a volleyball, before. So we just don't have that depth, and so some of these, players, I'm teaching them volleyball for the first time in their lives. These other bigger schools, these girls are coming in. Varsity definitely usually never has a 9th grader, and those, they're playing not only school ball, but they're playing travel ball. So they're just seeing volleyball a lot sooner in life than the players that are on our team.
So Catherine, you're the senior, and you've been playing here, for a minute. So how important is it for you as a leader to try to help coach and tell her, get her familiar with everything going on, since she is walking a little bit late? But it looked like it's kind of going okay, because you seem to be smiling, your body language when she starts talking. It looks like you're excited for her to be here.
Yes, I am. As a leader, we didn't have a coach for a while, and so I got some of the girls together and we went to the new Sand Mountain Park in Albertville, and we played volleyball on the beach courts or the outside courts, and just try to get something together because we didn't have a coach at the time. And then we got a coach, and I'm just trying to encourage them, because sometimes it's hard, having 2 practices a day and waking up early, but it's all going to be worth it when we start playing.
First of all, you kind of helped get everybody else together and went and played on your own?
Yes, sir.
See, it's not like basketball. You can't just go play pickup game. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I commend you on that, first of all. The next question is, when Coach came in and she gave her initial thoughts of her ideas and her vision, what were your thoughts on Coach? Because I want to know that.
Okay.
And pretend she's not here. So
okay.
And this was only 5 minutes ago, like Bart said. So.
I love Coach. The first time we met her, she laid out her expectations, which is a great thing from a coach. She told us what she expected from us, like on court and off the court. And the first day of practice, we went at it. Like, she knew what she was doing, and I respect that.
So we've had a lot of seniors in this room today, in this county, that's leaders. But I'm going to tell you something, with the percentages and the numbers you guys have, when I tell you your leadership is the utmost important, it may be the most important leadership we've had in this room today. And that's saying a lot, but it's also true. I mean, I think Bart agrees.
Totally agree.
So, Coach, when you see a young lady like this who goes out on her own and organizes pickup games on the sand, because they don't even have a coach, period, mm-hmm. that has to get you fired up from a coaching standpoint, to have some young lady like that on your squad.
Oh, I mean, and see, just to speak on her character, I never knew that. She's so humble. I can't say enough good things about this girl, and I met her 5 minutes ago. The quality she has as a player and as a person, you can't teach kids that. You can't coach them to be like that. Just the most all around, and I was a little nervous being a younger coach coming in, and teenage girls, and attitudes I had as a teenager, and you just not knowing what to expect. And I've received nothing but the utmost respect, and especially, like I said, I can't speak on her character highly enough. Comes in, definitely one of our better players, and just super humble, takes every bit of criticism I give her and uses it. I just can't, encouraging those who get down on themselves, she stays level-headed and brings those other players that get down on themselves up in workouts and practice, comes in early. I don't have to ask her to do anything. She just takes everything, she takes her responsibilities very seriously.
I think that's obviously why she's the one sitting here with you.
Yes.
Now, Coach, I'm going to ask you this real quickly, and we're going to hand it over for other questions. Since you have gotten your hands on this team 5 minutes ago, what have you seen? What are some of the things that you're like, hey, man, I know I got this with these girls, and I know we got to work on this?
With those who have played before and haven't played, I see, once again, the respect and just the willingness to learn, and the want to. There's some girls that have the best coach out there, and have all this, so much at their disposal, and they take it for granted. These girls, they just soak up everything that I give them, and so, they're so open-minded, and I jumped right in. We didn't have enough time. Time was not on our side, so we jumped right in 2-a-days. These girls, they're not used to the summer workouts that, other programs do. And so they're working out, they're practicing, and they're going, 2 days a week right off the bat with a brand new coach, and just really, taking it all in.
Coach, you and I talked in the lobby, and you said you wanted to play Spain Park right off the bat. 7A champs, and I commend you for that, Coach. You're ready to go to battle. I'm joking.
Step out.
She didn't say that, quote unquote, but she kind of did say that. Guys?
Guys, y'all get to start, like I said, about 2 weeks, McCall, before HSA or your season runs to the end of October still?
Middle October is our state championship, sub-state and state. So
it starts 2 weeks early and kind of ends 2 weeks early, because usually the HSA goes right to like about Halloween weekend, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know Coach Cheek was saying maybe you have your own business, do something, because you're not teaching at the schools at
No.
time. Also, had you ever thought about coaching volleyball even, or did you just, I know you loved it, I remember I covered your high school career, great player, but you ever thought, well, I'm going to coach someday? Did that ever even cross your mind?
Not really. Actually, my high school coach had reached out to me about coaching, travel ball and some of the new clubs that are starting up, and just really busy, getting out of college, starting new jobs, and then starting my own business. So it really wasn't at the forefront of my mind, but the opportunity presented itself. And I also felt, a deeper calling to Marshall Christian in particular, because, you don't have coaches running to that school because, like I said, they don't have these all-star athletes. You've got to start from scratch. And so I just felt a calling to accept, to go to that school.
Captain, you've been at Marshall Christian
since I was in kindergarten.
Right, I thought you had gone there.
She's getting me fired up on here.
Yeah, all your life. So, well, tell who is y'all's biggest rivals? in Marshall, cause I know cause you played against them. Who were like Anthony's asking these other girls, like, who do you circle, and who would be your biggest rivals?
Cornerstone Christian Academy in Rainsville.
That's pretty emphatic answer.
She did not hesitate.
No.
She went straight to the punch.
Yeah, I would think one of the challenges for you guys is the travel. I mean, you have to travel a long way to play some of these games.
Question.
So
You guys got to
tell us
pay
a
them.
little bit about the travel that's involved. I mean, how long is a typical road trip for you guys?
So our closest game is 45 minutes. And
Which might be maybe Rainsville, is it Cornerstone?
there's a school in Susan Moore that's a little closer. But sometimes we've traveled 2 hours to go play. I know we're talking about volleyball, but football games, we've traveled over 3 hours to go play. So it is a bit of a struggle.
Well, you have to loosen back up after a long trip like that too.
Yes, and that's rough too. Like, especially if you take a nap on the bus and you're not prepared to play. So
I would be napping on the bus too.
Yes.
You guys got anything else?
Thank y'all.
Hey, Coach, before we close out, just some final thoughts. I mean, you're from this area. Some of your kin folks kind of founded that school, correct? Final thoughts on this very important task you have ahead of you this fall.
Yeah, so the school means a lot to my family. I've seen my grandfather put hours upon hours of time into it, and really means a lot to him, and so therefore it means a lot to me. And also, I want to see these girls get the same opportunities as all these other schools that have come through here today. They deserve it, and just having somebody to believe in them and believe and see, that bigger goal for our program in the future. You're talking about Spain Park. That's a stretch, but in all seriousness, I told them, they go into the season, thinking about Cornerstone Rainsville. I don't know anything about, these teams, which is a good thing in a sense. But I told them, we need to be going into this thinking beyond our region, our area. And I told them I want to be able to call, Coach West at Albertville and be like, hey, I'm bringing my team. We're scrimmaging and actually compete with them. I just want those bigger goals set in the future and not keep kind of limit ourselves.
That's right.
What we can do.
No doubt. I respect that.
Catherine, what's your expectation this senior year? You've got the most sweat equity in up here of this.
We're talking
family, but I mean, you've got write the storybook for us this senior season for Marshall County.
So my senior year, of course, I want to win every game, and that may not happen, but I really want us to see us work as a team. Communicate, be honest with each other, us take responsibility, and like I said, I do want to win. But if I can, it's more about the game. It's more like if I can make sure these girls know that they are loved and they have the potential to play, and they want to play, I think that's the goal. Jesus loves them, and Jesus gave them the talent to play. And if they realize that and they believe in themselves, then they can go as far as they want to. Absolutely.
I've really enjoyed #5 minutes with Marshall Christian Academy.
If I've been
ladies
fired
days.
up over any interviews, this one. The underdog role, man, they got me fired up.
Well, but the thing is, Coach, kudos to you coming in here and accepting your calling, the words you use, accepting that calling, and you may be a coach one day. You would be astonished how many sports out there can't get any of their players to go to anything. So, but thank y'all, Bo. Anything else?
All I got to say is, man, they got me fired up. I'd love to play for them, but I'm old and fat, so that's not right. But these two young ladies right here have inspired me. I'm really enjoyed this interview. I mean, I kudos across the board.
And thank you for including us.
Oh, I appreciate you guys, and thank these guys, man. This is
thank you.
fantastic. Does anybody else got anything? All right, thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank y'all. We'll be back in just a minute with someone else.
insurance needs today, call Paul Harris of Guntersville, Alabama. He works with State Farm and can provide you insurance from auto, homeowners, renters, or more. Give him a call today at 256-582-3250.
When you deal with peoples, their goal is your success.
Here at People's Bank, it's more about a relationship.
I know my bankers, and I've got their cell numbers. I just call them.
If we had been with a larger bank, we would have just been a number. We're supported 100% by People's Bank.
They're our neighbor, they're our friends. We're part of this community.
I went to People's Bank because I knew they were going to take care of me.
People's Bank treat us like we're the most important client they have.
Local Joe's Barbecue Market and Catering Service in Albertville is a full-service restaurant serving smoked meats, fried chicken fingers, hamburgers, hamburger steaks, amazing sides, desserts, and more. If you'd like to visit them, they're on Main Street in Albertville, or you can call them at 256-400-5600. Legends on the Lake is a family restaurant with wings, steaks, wraps, and burgers. They offer live entertainment, a laid-back environment, and a beautiful view. Come check them out today or visit them on Facebook at Legends on the Lake. Enhanced Therapy Services is a locally and family-owned physical, occupational, and speech therapy clinic. Located in the heart of Guntersville, they treat patients of all ages and also offer a variety of specialty services, such as dry needling, Parkinson's disease treatment, lymphedema therapy, swallow therapy, pelvic floor treatment, and more. Give them a call at 256-486-9478 for questions and more information. For over 100 years, First South Farm Credit has been providing financial options as a part of the National Farm Credit System. First South is a financial cooperative, which means we are owned by customers just like you. When you're borrowing from First South, you become a stockholder and a member. Our mission is to support agricultural and rural communities by providing a steady flow of credit to eligible borrowers in Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Marshall Medical Centers serves the residents of Marshall County and surrounding areas. It has 2 hospitals, 9 outpatient locations, and a highly trained team of physicians practicing in 26 specialties. Marshall Medical is a confident and convenient choice for local health care. Residents can remain close to home and receive excellent care, often provided by those who are neighbors and friends. Average Joe Sports Talk. Follow them on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They cover everything from pictures, videos, coaching interviews, and more. They work hard to cover your hard work.
with our volleyball media days here for Marshall County, and we're with a very special group of young ladies from Guntersville. And we're going to let these young ladies introduce themselves at this time, starting with Coach.
I'm Brittany Case.
I'm Jaden Bonds.
I'm Lainey Phillips.
I'm Anna Vandergraff.
All right, Coach, we always like to start these kind of a rolling start like a la Joe Rogan does. Just initial thoughts on this team right here and what you guys have been through this offseason. You obviously very successful season last year. Expectations probably couldn't be any higher than they are right now with your girls from your high school winning the state, and a lot of those girls play with you now that played in that basketball team. But just the expectations and what's transpired over the summer with the workouts and everything.
We started as soon as we could start in June working out, and they've put in a ton of effort. I've asked a lot of them, and anything I ask, they step up and they do exactly what I ask. So we lost 5 seniors last year, and most of them were our defense, and it's where we struggle. So we have put a ton of time into our serve receive, and we continue. So we went to Muncie camp, and we had some girls go to camps on their own this summer, so they're really putting in the work to get where we need to be.
So from each one of you girls' standpoint, it takes a village to do anything, if you've ever heard that terms or whatever. Losing those 5 seniors from last year's team, obviously that weight goes onto your shoulders. Talk about that. Not only that, it's got to be a challenge, but also a tremendous opportunity for each and every one of you. Talk about it individually.
You start.
Well, I'm a DS too, so it was really hard for me because I looked up to them, and like they were always they always had my back. Whatever they did, I was like, okay, well I need to do this too, and I just looked up to them a lot. And now that they're gone, we have to step up now. We have to do their job, and it's difficult, but we're getting there.
I think they really helped me in the leadership point of view because I got thrown into a setting position I'd never set before and got thrown into a 5-1. So I think they really helped me adapt to that, and I really learned from them. So this year it was a lot easier to transition from being a leader.
I just think we've been with them since 7th grade, playing with them, and we knew everything, like who was going to get the ball, who was going to be where, and this year we just not enough experience.
No doubt. Now, Coach, before I hand this off to Bart, I'm sure he's got several questions. Girls athletics at Guntersville is not normal like it is at every other school. You guys compete at a high level. It seems like at every sport. I sit there and watch your soccer team. You guys, obviously basketball. What does it mean at this stage in the game to be a female athlete at Guntersville? And obviously you're tip of the spear being one of the coaches there. It's just different than it used to be back in the day. Talk about that a little bit.
It is. We have a great group of girls, and they want to succeed. Their goal in life is state. It's there. We talk about it. We know what we have to do to get there. And my biggest thing with them, as I tell them all the time, is put it all out there. It's the opportunity's here once. It's not going to be here again. And we have to play like this is it. Okay. So we hold ourselves to high standards, and we strive to achieve those every day.
No excuses.
No excuses.
I love it. Bart.
All right, so girls, any of y'all can take this question that want to. Coach, I'd like for you to follow up with it. Anybody that's driven by Guntersville High School knows it's kind of an issue right now. How do you get to the gym right now?
Well,
I drove around there for like 30 minutes coming up there to get some gear and stuff, but I don't.
Well,
go ahead.
You have to watch your email because they give you email every week and it tells you how to get in.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to get on the list.
It changes every week.
I need to get on the list.
You need to get on the list, pretty much.
No, but I drove up there, and I thought everybody, all our viewers out there locally, there are some additions to the school and a lot that y'all had to deal with this summer. So I want to know in the players' own words, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this team? Start with you, Anna.
Honestly, I think one of our weaknesses is just communication. That's probably the big one, and our defense right now. That's a really big one, but I think we're really strong with how we work as a team because we all get along really well, and there's really no drama going on, and I just think that we all just work really well together.
I think our weakness right now is getting everyone bought in on the same page. I think we have some girls that they'll come in the gym, they're like, we want to win state, and then sometimes we'll have some that are just here. And so I think right now, if we can get everyone bought in, I think we can really
make our presence known in 5A. And I think our strength really is probably our closeness. Like Anna said, we really don't have any drama. We're really close. And I think that's going to take us a long way if we don't have any drama.
Excellent leadership answer, lady. Go ahead.
I think our strengths right now, we have a lot of energy and we know how to talk to each other like as a family, and we love each other. And our weaknesses, just not bought into the game at all.
And Coach, it goes to the communication trust. We always talk about it, but to that, I mean, there's a culture here, you know, and it seems like you're right there. You're really close. What has to happen between now and November for you to get in that mindset and in the place to where you can go do what you know this team can do?
So I know y'all hear communication all the time, but it's 110% the right answer. They have to trust each other on and off the court, and it's, you know, being in the right spot. They've got to trust the girls there. I mean, we have a freshman and a new sophomore. She's new to our school this year, so they're having to learn to build that trust, but they've done a phenomenal job at accepting them and showing them their roles. And I mean, I feel like they're going to go very far this year if they'll just take it and go with it.
Coach, I'm going to brag on one of your players, Laney. I'm just going to tell you a real quick story, and I think it's a testament to how your girls' programs are up there in general. So Coach Phillips from Gadsden State seen one video clip that we put out of her playing basketball, and he said, "Man, who is that girl?" And he's seen her footwork and how she moved, her agility, whatever. And I said, "It's Laney Phillips, and she's really really good player." So he came and watched her scrimmage one day, and he was there 5 minutes. He said, "Where's her parents?" And I let him meet her parents. And he looked at me and said, "I'm offering her right now." He said, "I want her right now because a couple of reasons. One, obviously, she work ethic and the way she worked, whatever, but it was her character." And he met her parents, and he said the same message he seen when he met her. He wanted her to be a part of the program. I say all that to say this. She's not by herself with the Gunners for Girls. So talk about what you guys have done as a school to cultivate that kind of player, that kind of person that's going to carry out. And look, carry your name on the jersey out in the public, and you're getting this from college coaches that instantly see girls like her, and they're like, "Hey, I want them in my program."
We actually tell them a lot that when you go out in public, remember you've got a G printed on your chest. You're representing them everywhere you go. And I mean, when we in practice, we talk about, you know, make good choices on the weekend. Make sure you're representing who you want it to be. Make sure when you're seen out in public, you want people to know, hey, that girl's from Gunnersville and she's outstanding. And that's where we want them to be.
The beautiful part about this whole story, Coach, is the part you're going to love. She straight up told him that volleyball is her real sport.
She did.
Just throwing that in there.
She did.
Right.
No, she did. So.
That's a true story.
Yeah,
All right, you got anything else you want to kick it to?
Hey, guys, y'all.
Hey, who's the rival team for you guys? Who's somebody you circle on the calendar and say, this is somebody we really want to beat?
A-Rab.
Well, they said the very same thing about y'all.
Yeah.
How did it go last year with A-Rab? Did y'all split with it?
I think we went 1-1.
We did. We split 1-1 with them.
Last year. Y'all didn't see them in the county, did you, Coach, right? Last year, did you?
No, we
did you just play them regular season?
We did see them county.
1-1
I think it was
would
our
be
first
home and
game.
away in
I
regular
wasn't
season.
with them in
Yes.
county, so I don't.
County,
I, don't
I
know.
think we did see them. I can't remember.
I think they met in the cities.
I think we did.
How much?
I would think so.
How much more does it add to that question? Adding to it, I mean, how much more does it add that's area? You know, now that makes it just like so much more intense and so much more important. Or do you even think about that as just the next game?
Makes it more fun when we win.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and both of you could advance. Wouldn't that be great?
Well, I guess I talked to Boaz about this, and like we're sitting here, we could, and I think we were talking about this, maybe you could have 4 5A teams because Boaz Douglas and then you two, Gunnersville and A-Rab, y'all could all end up at Huntsville because it's still a host site for the super regional, right? Correct. You know, 1/4 of the 16 could be, I just think it's so good y'all are ready. Marshall County, your area, and I know y'all play a very difficult schedule. Gunnersville always has. I've been keeping up with it for a long time. But just playing in Marshall County, you get each other ready because it's such intensity in those matches. Is that correct? I know A-Rab may be the biggest rival, but there's not a lack of intensity if you're playing Boaz or Douglas.
No, our city schools are great competition. I mean, it's always a great game to come watch when we're playing one of our city teams here.
Didn't y'all go Super Regional last year?
We did.
Are you going back to the beach this year? I know that's been a tradition.
We are going to Shrimp Fest this year.
Is that in
That's in Gulf Shores.
In October? Is it October?
Yeah, the first weekend in October, I
Okay,
think.
yeah.
What are some other big tournaments? I know tournament play's always been big for you guys.
We're going to the Hef Strong tournament this year in Birmingham. We have a couple here at Supreme Courts and then one at Geraldine.
Brittany, we haven't asked anybody to give these guys a shout out because I've been around here a long time. Me and Nancy have a long time, and what Jonathan and everybody that's helped him, he has built Supreme Courts. Everybody knows this now. I'm at volleyball, basketball. I'm at how helpful is it for you guys that you can come right here in your town and host a big time tournament with these guys, because they deserve a shout out, because you know, just like with you, anybody that works, it just don't happen. So could you talk about what it means to have Supreme Courts here?
To have Supreme Court, we love them. Jonathan is always super helpful. Anything we need, scheduling wise, Shane comes in. I can email him anytime, and they are super helpful to get us in tournaments and play dates, and we're very thankful they are right here with us.
And then and I'm sorry that we didn't do a story on it. The Munciana camp, right? Y'all had it here. Was it?
It's huge, man. 2
weeks. Yeah, I mean, because you were talking about having the lady from Penn State here, and that's been something that's been, y'all been hosting how long now? 5 years. I thought it was actually longer, but I knew it had been going. I met. How much does, I may need to be quiet, I'm sorry for a moment. How much is Munciana? Because some of these people that y'all are going to see then, Coach, y'all won't see in the regular season, because I know you play a lot of matches, but still, some of these people you won't see.
Yeah.
How much does Munciana help? Girls, y'all can answer too.
So they bring in like Jasper, they bring in Jasper. We get to see them and say we won't cross with them until we get out of area, but I mean, we get to see the teams that we're going to see, and they come from all over. I mean, Munciana camp is huge, and we get to see a lot of competition in one spot right here in our own backyard.
I think the thing I love about Munciana is that, because we played for Randy Gardner, and he's from Munciana originally, he really, and Munciana itself, exposes us to so much more style of volleyball that I don't think that's not around here commonly. That's what I love about Munciana, especially because they bring in different coaches every year. So I think it really helped us this year.
And two is, correct me if I'm wrong, I know not all of it's playing, right? There's some like you work skills, you break skills is right.
Yeah, individuals. Yeah.
And then the matches are latter part of the day or midday on, right? So the skills you just anyway, I'm sorry.
I'm good. No, Jonathan and Shane, man, they do an unbelievable job. And I think you touched on it. This is their backyard. You know, you ladies got to kind of walk around with a sense of pride. This camp, the nation's largest volleyball camp, is in our backyard. That's basically what you're getting to.
Yeah, and you mentioned Laney. I mean, every time I started coming up here doing the basketball stuff, I'd see Laney in there on the other end. Like, it's just the local kids that are able to come a part of this. Like where I grew up, I mean, just to interject, but I don't know if you did, but there was nothing like this. I mean, you had to sneak in the gym and you had to leave a window unlocked, and yeah, I did it. But at the same time, it's like to have the access to this place, and it shows, Coach, I think, and players, you'll agree, in the fruit of what y'all are able to do as you continue to build this program. I've been very impressed with all, like to Bo's point, all the cultures at Guntersville I've been impressed with, and I don't see any reason why volleyball is not just going to follow in those footsteps.
Let me ask you ladies a question, and this is dialed into this team. Having this opportunity in front of you, obviously it's got to be tremendous to you. Seeing that your girls go through in basketball and break through and win it all, and knowing that you guys are on the doorstep, what are some of the things you're going to do individually to knock that same door down and go do the same?
I think for me is if it's a better me, it's a better us. So for me personally, is I try to get in the gym as much as I can. Randy and Joe, I'm constantly in contact with them, like, hey, when can I get in the gym? Asking Lemons. We have players ask staff to practice, which I think is great. I think really it's just to get in the gym and work individually. I know it's hard because it's not like basketball where you can just go shoot, but I think anyone on our team, you could ask them and they would go with you to the gym. And we have access not only to our gym, but to spring courts, which is really a blessing.
You guys can help Bart find the entrance there eventually, right?
Yeah.
Lainey just hit that spot. Good job, Lainey.
It took me a minute.
I mean,
Both of you other guys, I want to hear, like, personally, what are some of the things you're going to do?
I'm sorry.
Some of the things you're going to do to kick that door in and win that state championship.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just probably working individually because, I mean, we have practice every single day, but, I mean, it's not always, like, what you need to work on.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's just easy to come in here when you want, and, you know, Randy or Joe, you can ask them, and they'll come and help you and just, like, give you training.
And so, and what you're basically saying is just practice is not enough.
Yes.
Real
You have to do
players.
some individual
Yes.
stuff,
Absolutely.
I agree.
I try and bring as much energy as I can to the team and try to build a bond with each player, try to like make friendships and conditioning. I condition a lot. Try to make myself better.
I get a sense of you guys, you three especially, I can't speak for the other young ladies and none here, you guys seem like you hold the other girls accountable. Is that true, Coach, with these three?
That's very true.
That has to make your job a little bit easier.
It does. I say sometimes they beat me to the punch of, hey, we got to step it up.
Yeah.
So
When they look up and they're like, we don't want to do this today, and then these three are in there grinding, that conversation becomes easier for you and probably maybe a little difficult for them at the start, but once that culture changes, then it becomes difficult for those who are not on board.
absolutely, and like Jaden, she'll stay after practice with me, and we'll work on footwork and hitting and where we need to put the ball, and you know they see their seniors and their leaders doing that, which you know makes them much more willing to put in the extra work with them.
One voice, one heartbeat.
Yep.
Love it. I'm finished. I'm sold. Whatever they're selling, I'm buying.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid, folks.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Look, I think we can all learn that quote Lainey said, if it's a better me, it's a better us. That's why you're seeing the cultural things you're seeing happen at Gunnersville, because these girls are buying in all the programs. Thank you, ladies, for joining us, and thank y'all for, we got one more coming your way. Stay with us at Spring Courts.
Follow them on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. They cover everything from pictures, videos, coaching interviews, and more. They work hard to cover your hard work. Marshall Medical Centers serves the residents of Marshall County and surrounding areas. It has 2 hospitals, 9 outpatient locations, and a highly trained team of physicians practicing in 26 specialties. Marshall Medical is a confident and convenient choice for local health care. Residents can remain close to home and receive excellent care, often provided by those who are neighbors and friends. For over 100 years, First South Farm Credit has been providing financial options as a part of the National Farm Credit System. First South is a financial cooperative, which means we are owned by customers just like you. When you're borrowing from First South, you become a stockholder and a member. Our mission is to support agricultural and rural communities by providing a steady flow of credit to eligible borrowers in Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Enhanced Therapy Services is a locally and family-owned physical, occupational, and speech therapy clinic. Located in the heart of Gunnersville, they treat patients of all ages and also offer a variety of specialty services, such as dry needling, Parkinson's disease treatment, lymphedema therapy, swallow therapy, pelvic floor treatment, and more. Give them a call at 256-486-9478 for questions and more information. Legends on the Lake is a family restaurant with wings, steaks, wraps, and burgers. They offer live entertainment, a laid-back environment, and a beautiful view. Come check them out today or visit them on Facebook at Legends on the Lake. Local Joe's Barbecue Market and Catering Service in Albertville is a full-service restaurant serving smoked meats, fried chicken fingers, hamburgers, hamburger steaks, amazing sides, desserts, and more. If you'd like to visit them, they're on Main Street in Albertville, or you can call them at 256-400-5600.
When you deal with peoples, their goal is your success.
Here at People's Bank, it's more about a relationship.
I know my bankers, and I've got their cell numbers. I just call them.
If we had been with a larger bank, we would have just been a number. We're supported 100% by People's Bank.
They're our neighbor, they're our friends. We're part of this community.
I went to People's Bank because I knew they were going to take care of me.
People's Bank treat us like we're the most important client they have.
For any of your insurance needs today, call Paul Harris of Gunnersville, Alabama. He works with State Farm and can provide you insurance from auto, homeowners, renters, or more. Give him a call today at 256-582-3250.
We are back here at the 2022 Volleyball Media Days, the first of my knowledge here at Supreme Courts. We're here with a very special group, the Albertville Aggies, and I'm going to let these young ladies introduce themselves, starting with Coach.
Christy West.
Ella Smart.
Anna Edwards.
Lexi Lee.
Coach, once again, we're going to start with a rolling start. Take us through your thoughts on the team so far this summer workouts and what that's looked like, rolling obviously over into the fall camp, which is the most important time of the year right now, is this transition over from your summer workouts over into season. Just take us overall thoughts.
Right. Well, we've had a ton of play dates. We've had one practice with everyone there, which was this week.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I'm
Wow.
very excited to get in the gym. We have approximately 3 weeks really before we start. But you know, it's good because you learn a lot through playing those games too. And got a long list of things we need to work on. We're very excited. We have a good group. We have these 3 seniors, the rest younger of course. And we have a lot of potential. So where we are now is not where we plan on ending up. And if we keep growing like we think we can, we expect to get better as we go.
Now, Coach, you come out of retirement and they brought your whistle down from the rafters. And once they brought that whistle down from the rafters and they handed it to you, and you walked into that locker room and you looked these young ladies in their eyes, and here's the beautiful part about these young ladies right here: they can't hit reset. This is it. This is their last summer workouts. This is their last season coming up. You can't say, well, in a few years I hope we get a no. This is it for them. What did you tell them? I know it has something to do with everything in your power to make these young ladies successful and go out winners.
Yes, yes. We had a talk right off the bat. They were excited, I think. It's not always fun for a senior to get a new coach. I don't know how they felt at first, but they're on board. They're ready to go. They want to be good. And I just told them on day one, you know, I'm not here to be your friend, but I'm your coach. I'm a woman who cares about you, and we're just going to try to be, you know, the best we can be. I'm going to try to make you the best player you can be.
Now, young ladies, when she came in and said that, you knew it had to be all business, no more play. It's go time right now. Talk about it individually. When she said that had to fire you up inside.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it does get you fired up because you have a coach here who cares about you, but isn't going to let off because she's your friend. She's going to push you to your limits because she wants you to be better. And that encourages me because that's like, hey, I got someone on my side who's going to push me and who wants me to be the best that I can be.
1,000%.
It made me feel a lot better because she's not just going to hand us our positions just because we're seniors, and we all have to individually work for our positions.
Yes, just because a 10th grader is a better player than a senior, I mean, she's very fair, and that's what I love about Coach West. She's very fair with the playing time.
So there's a chance you guys will be sitting on the bench as seniors if you don't put in the work.
Oh, yeah. That's why everybody's accountable for what they do. Yeah.
Take my credit card. I'm in on this. I'm already in this. Go ahead, Bart.
It goes right to the question I was wanting to ask. Great answers, ladies. And Coach, if you'll start, and then girls just kind of lead into this. This area is tough. It is. I mean, it's a gauntlet. I mean, it's the highest level in, you know, the state classifications that we have. Coach, it's just reiterated communication and trust. How, number one, Coach, do you continue to develop the high level of communication and trust daily with this team? You know, getting here, you know, this soon, you got to do it quickly. And then girls, how important is off the court is the question for you after Coach answers to that communication and trust, not just on the court but off the court. But Coach, go ahead.
We do have a tough area, but a lot of people do. We talked about goals on Thursday at practice, and one of the ones was to make it to regionals. And the top 2 go out of 4. It's tough. It's Grissom, Huntsville, Sparkman, and us. Not seen them yet, have in the past. And we just think if we keep competing, we can knock somebody off.
Doesn't seem like you're real scared of that challenge to me, Coach.
Well,
Are you?
before there were 7 classes, we were in 6A when 6 was the top. So we were in this area a few years ago, my oldest daughter's senior year. And we were in the exact same position, really. But by the end of it, we didn't quite make it, but we went 5 with Huntsville and came this close before we dropped down to 6 and they made the 7A. So, you can rise up and do it. And if we keep getting better, I think we can play with them.
So girls, like on the court communication, trust, talk about how you got to know where your teammate is, who you're throwing to, what their strengths are, weaknesses, how to not put them in bad position. How important is communication and trust off the court for a volleyball team?
Very important. Very important. I think all of our girls love each other, though. I think that we all get along. I think that there's no anything going on. I just feel like we work good together on the court and off the court.
Yeah. Like usually, like when you have like many girls as you do on a team, like there's always somebody who's mad at each other, somebody who, drama. But like this year, we haven't seen much of that. It's been really like refreshing and
we
nice.
all like encourage each other to do better and push each other to do better.
Yeah.
Does that come with maturity in the program, or just maturity as individuals, or like how do you attest to that?
I would say that it's more focusing on the same thing. We all want to be the best. We all want the same thing. We all want to win, and we want it so bad that we're willing to put aside all this other stuff that we may be dealing with, and we're like, hey, we're a team. We're gonna act like it, and we're gonna play. So.
How important is that young lady right next to you being to that?
This one right here?
No, I'm talking about that young lady, you. How important, girls, how important has she been to this progression?
Very
extremely.
I've already seen a big difference from last year
Yeah.
to this year, just in how we're all getting along and playing better together.
Yeah.
And we don't give up. We never give up anymore. It's like if we're down 6-7 points, we fight back and we come back.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about getting ready to play. They're getting me ready to play in this last game. I want to run out of the tunnel.
I got a question for you, and I've saved this question for last. I feel like there's a comfortable group to ask this question. In this state, there's a big umbrella, and I own Average Joe Sports Stock, so I deal with all sports. In this state, there's a big umbrella in fall sports. It's football. And, Courtney Brothers and I are real good friends, and we talked about the growth of volleyball and how it's transpired and how it's getting bigger. There are always going to be that shadow cast, but you girls work just as hard. You girls put in sweat equity. You girls grind. I mean, you girls go through blood, sweat, and tears and cuts, just like football. What do you think it's going to be? There's always got to be a spark to start that fire to get more enthusiasm, get more coverage and things on the volleyball end, from a coach's standpoint, and then I'm going to ask from a player standpoint. What do you think? What do you think some of the things we could do?
Well, it's already changed a good bit. I started coaching way back when I got out of college. I was a basketball player. I didn't know much about volleyball. But the school I started at was Alexandria High School. Volleyball was huge there. And so I just, they made me coach everything. So I really got into the volleyball. And girls back then, in the early 90s, if they wanted to play club, they could go to Huntsville, Birmingham, or Mobile. That was it. We had one girl that played, it just wasn't there. So all of the club opportunities, just the growth in how good everybody is now. There's not just one or two good teams in a county. Back in the day, it was Gunnersville. Gunnersville beat everybody all the time. But now, there's Boaz, there's Arab, there's us, there's, Douglas, DAR. You never know. It's a lot better, and it's a lot better statewide, I think.
No doubt.
It's growing like crazy.
Now, testament to it, anything we've ever posted on Average Joe's since we've started, volleyball stuff explodes. I think it's kind of like a caged up, like it's ready to explode, if that makes sense. You ladies, they got Friday night. Why can't you go on the rest of the weeks? Well, talk about that a little bit. What does that mean to you?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like people go to football games because, like, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad. Like, it's just football, so people just want to go watch. And I feel like for volleyball, it's much different. Like, when people go see volleyball, it's not because, like, it's not because it's volleyball. It's because they either know somebody or their girlfriend's playing or something like that, you know. And I would like to get to a point where people are like, hey, I want to go watch volleyball because, like, volleyball is such an intense sport and it's something that is just so strategic and fun and very upbeat and like I think it's more fun to watch than football, but you know,
football is kind of it's becoming a social event.
Yeah. So I don't know how we could get to that place, but that is something I would like to see. Is just, you know.
I'll tell you one thing: hosting the nation's largest camp right here in this building is one way, and having a media days like this is another.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead.
I just hope that we get to be as big as football nights are, because no one really like shows up for volleyball.
They never. Our student section is so bad.
Get on them. Get on right now. Let's go.
We're going to call them out.
Let's go.
Please, all the football players, they have practice and they don't want to come after practice.
People don't pay attention, and you elaborate too as well, but I want to interject here. Volleyball, I'm a fast-paced sports guy. I like fast-paced sports. I like, but the strategy, I mean, every single play matters in volleyball. Am I wrong?
Most people don't understand volleyball. Yeah. That's the thing. They don't understand the game. I guess that's why people don't come. I don't know.
I didn't know what a libero was till 3 weeks ago. I think I had really? No, I had no idea.
Coach,
I didn't.
You just think they wore different jerseys?
I thought it was the defensive specialist. I didn't know there was like a whole different stuff. But like when I started watching in here, my point is y'all have energized me. I'm going to go out and watch volleyball games. I remember when I was in school at Mississippi State, I went and watched the volleyball team all the time, and I loved it. It was my favorite sport to go watch. But at the same time, there is something to your point, though, about the fact that we've always been so football. We've always been so football. I'll look anybody out there in the face, and I played SEC basketball, and football was my favorite. Not even close. Friday night was great. But why can't volleyball on the rest of the week? Or whatever other sport it is. I love that. I love where your mind's
at. That's right. I mean, I think it is what it is. I think these are steps that we're taking, and I think these guys, Hyde and Shane, obviously, and the media, you guys, obviously, is helped with that. I think we're getting there. And you was at Alexandria in the '90s, Coach Kent, and that had to be special.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I've been doing this a long time. I interrupt. I think Christy's we're both a little older than we used to be, but I'm still older than Christy. But I think, you correct me, when we made the change in volleyball to play rally score, that's right, because used to you couldn't get a point unless you got to serve in the games for a little bit, but now, like you were saying, Bart, I mean, it's just a crazy momentum shift because every point matters, and used to you had to get that serve and get that, you played at 15. I mean, these girls don't remember because they're too young, and God bless them for their youth. but for real, in their lifetime it's changed. I think that, Christy, am I wrong? I think the rally scoring, and like you said, I gave Jonathan them, and they need a shout out, Supreme Courts and clubs, because you're right, you used to have to go to the big cities to get in a club. But I mean, I think rally scoring has added to the excitement because every time the ball's served, if somebody's getting a point, I mean, is that a valid?
If you like a fast-paced game, like you were saying, someone's scoring every time.
Right.
So every ball matters.
Yeah, it's not like, in basketball, girls catch this gentleman right here played SEC basketball at Mississippi State. He was a good player for Wednesday.
I had to plug myself a little bit, y'all.
I've been around long enough to remember when you played, Bart. But I mean, you don't score on every possession in basketball or every possession in football. But like you said, every time the ball's served, there's a point made in volleyball. So it's important to not get down 10 or 12. I mean, I've seen all kinds of stuff, and you've coached and played and seen it. So anyway, I'm sorry. I stole. I didn't mean to.
No, you're good.
I can promise you, sitting next to her here and how emphatic she is in her voice, every point matters.
Well, it's true, because you don't want to just, we don't take this point off. We're not going to play. You got to play hard every.
That's right.
Like you're saying, right? At least every point. So.
Just like Johnny Parker said, we've alluded to it 3 or 4 times, that came to Munciana, that played the 3-time All-American, played at Penn State. Yep. Every single play matters. She said there were at least 25 times in her career in high school to where she went and made a play she didn't think she was going to get to. And then she goes and makes one. It's the Max Preps Player of the Year. She jumps up and gets a block to win the state championship. Every play matters, right?
Yes.
Every practice matters. And y'all spend as much time, like he said, as any team does.
Even if you mess up on one point, you still got to get back and play the next point. Like, the next point's coming.
Short memory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just wipe it away.
Yeah, one play you don't want it to turn into a bad game. One bad play can turn into a bad game with that momentum in volleyball. I've never seen any sport, including basketball, where it can change on a dime. I mean on a dime. Never seen it in any other sport.
Oh, well, hey, who's on the calendar, on the schedule that you guys really want to beat? Who's the big rival for y'all?
I say Boaz and Gunnersville.
Yeah.
I say Boaz and Gunnersville.
Yeah, definitely.
You're thinking, are you not going to answer?
Well, there are several.
Who's another one?
It's
Boaz and Gunnersville?
They're Southside. They're really good this
Oh,
year.
yeah, their defense is
Yeah,
really
new
good.
coach too.
Coach, let me ask you this,
Yes.
like to his point, to his question, like, are there certain times like that you'll notice something happening in a certain, let's say it's not a rivalry game, right? But you're playing somebody twice, you're playing a home and home, whatever, and something in particular happened in that one game, win or loss, that like was really something that you saw down the road that could hurt us, or we don't need to. Does that make that next game bigger, or is it just that next situation bigger? If that makes sense.
Well, if we can correct it in practice, it could, certainly make a difference the next time we play. One server that gets 4 or 5 on us, we can't let that happen next time. One girl that we think if we move over a little, we can block her next time. If we can correct that and look for that, that could really shut somebody down next time. Might make a difference,
I've got a serious question, something we've kind of just swept under the rug here, but I've got to go back to it before we shut this interview down. Coach, you've had one practice. How in the world are you supposed to get what you've got to get put in and install before you guys start playing with only one practice up to this point?
Well, we have girls that are solid in their positions, and we pretty much have the lineup set, so that's good. And really, all of these play dates, they are practices too, so we're trying to correct and talk about things as we go. But there are just some fundamentals we've got to get in the gym and just hammer and just, practice.
Similar question for you young ladies. Being the leaders on these teams, you've got to be the ones that relay that message to the younger girls and hold those younger girls accountable in a short period of time. It's not like we got 2 months. No, we don't. We got 3 weeks. So how are you guys going to help coach relay that message down to these younger girls?
I would say just like in practice, like when we're doing passing drills and stuff like that, like we usually, one practice that we had, like we split up into like different groups, and I was with the passers, hitters, setters, and we just go at it, and we're like encouraging each other and just uplifting each other because we push each other and we want each other to be the best that we can be. So we're always trying to see how we can make ourselves better, and looking next to us, trying to encourage the other people, trying to push them to be better as well. So
I'd say encouraging the whole team just uplifts the whole team, because that one thing that you said to them could make a whole difference in their whole game.
Could change their whole season.
I think just be supportive. Always be supportive. Never give dirty looks. Never say you should do this, you should do that. That's Coach West's job. As a teammate, you should be uplifting and always be supportive, even if they mess up.
Love it.
Body language and presentation matters. Now, I have a serious question for Coach, and this goes back to those early 90s. Was there a thermostat in that gym? Actually, how hot did it get in that Alexandria gym?
Just as hot as Coach said.
I've never seen. That's the hottest. I was a manager when Carter Long played over there and came over there and played basketball. His career ended there, and I've never been so hot in my life. But I was just curious if there was an actual thermostat or if it broke.
He turned it up in practice, and it was turned up in games.
Unbelievable.
This is
Good
Coach
memories.
Ken doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Good memories.
Hey, you want to give our sponsors out there, Mr. Bart?
Yeah, we just girls, we thank y'all so much for joining us, and Coach, and just all our local sponsors. We had some great. The food was great today, wasn't it?
Local Joe's.
Local Joe's. Barbecues, that banana pudding was on
It was
time.
good.
wasn't it? I jumped in.
I'm about to find out.
First South Farm Credit, Frank Loftus, thank you very much. Enhanced Therapy Services, State Farm, Mr. Paul Harris, we thank you for your support. The People's Bank of Alabama, Mr. Shane Davis, Marshall Medical Centers Health System, which is very important to Marshall County and the surrounding areas. And then Legends on the Lake, if you hadn't been, it's a great spot to go kick it. And then, of course, Average Joe's Sports Talk. Bo, we just can't thank you enough for your partnership and just how you're trying to pour into these young ladies and these programs and these sports, like we all are, for the same reason, and that's to better them as people, as presenters, and also just draw attention to everything that they're doing. So, is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, I want to, what Hyde and Shane's done up here with this place is phenomenal. Hosting this event, I think, and I think you great ladies will agree, something needs to be done, and it's something that we've gotten done now in 3 counties that I've been a part of, and Etowah County's coming this next week. So we've gotten that fire started. Courtney Brothers and I talked about it last year. There has to be a spark to get that fire started. So I think it's lit, and I think it's burning now. So, yeah, and thank you guys here at Supreme Courts, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of it. So that's all I've got.
I'm Bart Heitch. Thank y'all for joining us. We hope we've brought some intrigue to volleyball in Marshall County with these media days, and we look forward to following all these young ladies throughout the season. Thanks, and we will see you next time.